I have a pen or a marker, and we'll just go over this real quick. I was hoping you recognize that this is in vertex form. So the vertex is -4, -10. No keystrokes needed, but if you did, that's fine. It doesn't hurt putting the keystrokes down. If you're not sure, just do it. With the parabola open up or down, A is negative, so it'd be opening down. Okay. So just circle down or say down, that's okay. How many x-intercepts does this have? A is negative, K is negative, so none. Okay. If they are the same, if the leading coefficient and the K, the Y value of your vertex, have the same sign, no intercept. Describe the shape of this parabola. It would be narrow. That's what I meant with that. Narrow. Because A is greater than 1. Okay, just the value of A. That's the explanation there. State the minimum or maximum. We do not have this. This is NA, but we do have a maximum. I don't know if you remember, but it's actually the equation of the maximum. Right, so it's that. So if you have your parabola like this, it's the horizontal line going through your vertex, and that is the line y is equal to -10. Everything is worth a mark so far. 5 we're not going to count, but if you did put a minimum there, then we would go -1 at the end. At some point, we'll take off 1. State the range. Because it's pointing down, y is less than or equal to -10. This is not the way domain and range for word problem works. This is just anything y less than -10 is the way to go here. So it has to be done exactly like this to get the mark. State the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry is this. It's the line that crosses this way, and that's x is equal to -4, right? We grab the x value of the vertex. So that's -4. So this is x is equal to -4. Okay. This is the AOS, and it is a line, right? Same with the max or min, it is a line. State the y-intercept. You can use your calculator, right? Trace 1, x is equal to 0, and so you get 0, -42. You could have plugged in 0 into your equation up there and done it by hand, same answer. What value of A would result in a wider parabola? Anything if 0A like this, anything in between. So if you put down example A is equal to 0.2, you're good. Or a fraction that's less than 1, anything would go there. Okay. 11, if you have your vertex form, K is just a letter in this case, what value of K so that there are no x-intercepts? Well, you want K to be positive, right? So K can be 3 or 20 or 2000 or whatever you want, but all positive, right? All positives would be accepted in this case. Because if A and K have the same sign, you have no x-intercepts. Next, 12. We know that this has a range of y is less than. When you see y is less than, you're already assuming that the parabola is pointing down. Is A positive or negative? And you would say negative. A is negative because it's pointing down. State the standard form of a quadratic equation. All I wanted you to do is know that it's this one, right? That's the form. Write the 14 in standard form. So either bring everything over to the left or bring everything over to the right. It's up to you. But if you do that and you're careful, you get -x² minus 2x minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, that's what you're supposed to be left with. Or, okay, I must say x squared plus 2x plus 8 is equal to 0. Like if every single term has the exact opposite sign, that is also acceptable. That just means you brought everything over to the other side, to the right-hand side. Both of them are acceptable. Okay. 1 mark for that. State the quadratic formula. I just wanted you to write out. Basically, it's like, hey, do you have this on your study sheet? That's really what I'm doing there. So if you have that, you get a mark for that. And now for the fun part, the quadratic formula piece. I'm going to do it on the back side. So here it is. Oh, maybe you should total that, the first page there. I would say because question 5 is technically not a mark, right? It's supposed to be NA or left blank. This is out of 14 so far. So we're going to say up until 15, we have already 14 marks at play. Okay. Now let's do the quadratic formula. So I'm going to rewrite it real quick. Okay, so 10x squared minus 6x squared. The minus 7x is already there. This 5x comes over subtracting. The negative 8 comes over adding, and then you have nothing on the other side. So that gives you 4x squared minus 12x plus 8. That's equal to 0. If you have this, you already get a mark for rewriting it correctly. If you don't, this is how I mark this one. It's a -1 if you get this wrong. But then you get marks for showing me the next step. Regardless of what you got here, you still get marks for the next step where you plug it into your quadratic formula. So these are my values. Okay, so it's a good idea to state them like that. And now we solve. It's negative b plus or minus negative b squared minus 4 times a times c. All of that, the entire thing. Once we figure that out, we will divide by 2 times a. Then we clean it up. Negative and negative is 12, plus or minus. Plug this all into your calculator, all in one shot. You get 16 in here, over 8. If you get it to this point, obviously your values will be different if you got ABC wrong. But if I check it out and it is what it's supposed to be here, you get 1 mark at this point. And then you'll get half a mark for each x value. We know there's going to be 2 x-intercepts because this is positive. So x will be 12 plus root of 16 is just 4, right? But I'm just going to do it because it's most often, like quite often, it's not going to be a whole nice number. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it in the root. And then it's 12 minus root 16 over 8 like that. The first one gives us 2. So that's just 2, 0. But if you have 2, I'm fine with that. And the second one is 1, which is 1, 0 technically. I would give you half a mark. So basically a mark for figuring out both of them correctly. If you get one of them wrong, then it's a -1/2 there. So 3 marks associated with this question. If there's ever a y anywhere, you just let y equal to 0, because remember, we're finding x-intercepts here. That's what solving means. That's what roots, right? We're finding the roots, the x-intercepts, the solutions, they all mean the same thing. So 3 marks for this somewhere on that paper. Make sure you indicate what you got. And of course, your answers will be different. I don't give you 0 for the entire thing if you make a mistake upstream, okay? You could potentially still get 2 out of 3. or 1 out of 3. Depends on if you make more mistakes, then you lose more down the road, but don't give 0 necessarily if you don't have the same answer. Okay, so domain and range. Here I'm going to use interval, but I will also write set, I guess. So 0 to 1.35, 1 mark for this. If you have that, 1 mark. You have to have the square brackets or else take off half. Okay. For your range, you go from as low as 0 and as high as 8. So 1 mark for each one of them. It's going to be a bit crowded here, but I'll do this again. Domain, if you do set, it'd be 0, t, 1.35. I don't like that, but anyways, 0, h, and 8, like this. 1 mark each, but you don't have to do both, okay? In fact, don't go above and beyond ever, because if you do make a mistake, then we have to take marks off as well. That's according to the province. Domain and range for this, my domain goes from 0 to 12. It has to be exactly like this or else we don't get marks today, okay? I know it's a little harsh, but if your brackets are off, that's half off, but it has to be in that order. For the range, you go as low as 5 and as high as 20. That's also a mark. So your domain would be, if you used set, it would be this. And if you used set for your range, it would be 5 and 20 like this. 1 mark for each regardless. And then this one here, your domain goes from 0 to 4.4. And your range goes from -200 all the way to 150. 1 mark for each. If you chose set, it's 0d for distance to 4.4. And range is 0h, sorry, not 0, -200. 150. So the domain and range is 6. 6 and 3, for me, the backside would be 9, right? So the quadratic formula and the domain and range together add up to 9. And then we have, let me check the front here, and then we have 14 all the way up to question for, it adds up to 14. So 14 and 9 would be 23 total. 23 total. Okay. There you go.